don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
What? Oh my God, I knew better than that. Hello, welcome. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all ages, of all ages, to all ages. Welcome. Hello, it is Friday. We're normally not here on Fridays. Grammarly is telling me I shouldn't say normally not here. I need to say usually not here. We are usually not here on Fridays, but we are here tonight because we were not here last night, and we have some big things to discuss tonight. And I just noticed right as I got here, we are coming to you from the southern compound. We are not in the studio. And I'm looking at this, and everything looks different. My controls all look different. That's what happens. I told you, Kate, the other day that some things changed on how it looked in the regular studio, and I've been used to it for the last 4 or 5 days. But now things look different down at the bottom. That's wild. Anyways, okay, well, I'll have to play along with that a little bit later. No big deal. Ooh, look at this. Hold on. What are we going to do here? Oh, we're not going to do anything. Okay. That's cool. What's this middle thing? This is where we share. All right. We can still do that. Okay. We're good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I promise you this is a professional show. I know some of you are like, yeah, right. It's like this is the 486th episode. And you continuously say that, but we have yet to see that yet. So I get it. That doesn't matter. Either way, whichever way, whether we're professional or not, please smash that like button. Give us all of the love that you can, because while we might not give you the love back, we do bring you entertainment, education, political commentary, the very best political commentary coming straight to you out of East Central Indiana. And for that, all that we ask in return is for a little bit of love. We just want your thumbs. Mail me your thumbs or your fingers. Thumbs or your fingers, either one, but use them to click the like on the screen. And share the show with everyone you know. Help spread the word. Do all of that stuff. That's great. And also, yes, right. That's exactly right. I hate the headset. I don't like it. I've listened to the audio when I do the shows from here, and the audio sounds okay. I kind of like to play with this while I'm doing the show too. I also, oh my God, look what we've done. We've already had a man down. Maybe wait to give us that like to see if you really like the show or not. I like to play with this thing too, which came off of the. Like, I'm like, should this be connected to something? Oh well, whatever. You guys can hear me. I can hear you. Hello. Well, thank you, William Wise. Obviously your last name fits perfectly, because if you can tell that I am awesome, you are clearly smart and wise. Hey, if you also want to follow, yeah, you're fine. If you want to follow, so that was just Kate and I talking down the duck. Sometimes that happens. If you ever realize that I'm talking directly to somebody, but you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm doing one of two things. I'm either talking to Kate at the controls. She's kind of like Snerdly. For those of you that used to watch or listen to Rush Limbaugh, see, most radio shows and podcasts and shows like this, they will have their producer on a talkback button. So the host will talk and the producer can be heard. But the great Rush Limbaugh would always talk to Snerdly, his producer, but you never heard the voice of Snerdly. And that's kind of how we do with Kate. Every now and then Kate will pop up and tell you something great and wonderful, but I try to keep all of that amazing information and all of her wonderfulness to myself, solely to me, and I don't allow you guys to hear that. So, sucks to be you. Okay, well, so along with liking the show like you did, if you're interested in following along with us on our social medias, you can do that below. And there we go. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to be talking about a couple of different things tonight. And I'm going to start the show off with a couple of incidents that started in a local government meeting here in Indiana. It's not actually in Muncie, but it's kind of interesting because we deal in the city of Muncie with this specific meeting, and a meeting like this. And so there's a meeting similar to what we have here in Muncie that's happening in another area. And we're going to be looking at this. We're going to be just looking at clips. We're not going to be watching the entire meeting. I will tell you, if you don't want to take my word for it, I'm perfectly fine with that. If you do not trust me, I'm fine with that. Please, it's kind of like a trust but verify. Do your own research. Don't just listen to me. But I can tell you, if you don't believe me or trust me, that's foolish, because I am almost always right. Like 99.99999% always right. The few and far between times that I am wrong, we admit that, and I'm generally only wrong like once or twice a year, and we've got those out of the way already for 2025. So we're about halfway through the year, so I would say from here forward, it's all, I don't know if it's all downhill or all uphill. It's good. I'm probably not going to be wrong anymore this year because we've already got those things out of the way. I admitted to being wrong, and now we're blue skies ahead. So I watched the entirety of the meetings that we are getting ready to dissect. And there's no trickery involved. What I'm going to show you on the screen is what happens. And it's maddening. It's anger-inducing. and it boils my blood, and it's crazy because it's not happening to me. It's not actually even happening to citizen within my city or my county, but it's happening to another citizen elsewhere, and it makes me angry because of how they talk to this person. Now, a couple of the other reasons why I'm angry is because, one, it is a bunch of men bullying a woman. So I have a very serious issue with that. The other thing is, it's like this is Catherine's first time here on the show. Imagine that, like, the first and only person I ban is Catherine Callahan. That would be hilarious. And Cindy Ponchett. Man, I would never have thought that I would block both two people in one night. That's crazy. I'm kidding. They are bullying a woman, so I don't like that. It's men bullying a woman, which I do not like. Public servants doing this. And I want to be very careful how I say this. It's a person that is on in years. I don't want to say elderly woman. I think that sounds horrible. I don't think this person is elderly, but and a woman that is mature in life. Okay, and then the other issue is it's a bunch of white men, and it happens to be a person of color. So I try not to make things about race, and I generally, if things are about race, I say that. But if they're not, I don't, look into that. But that is something that we have to question here. So first up, a wise woman. Yes, that Tweety Bird, that's probably right. Well, the whole thing is I grew up with my family, so my parents were like in their early 20s. My mom was like 20 or 21 when she had me. My grandparents were just 40, like 41, 42. So I grew up. So I never looked at like other people who their grandparents were in their 80s when we were in high school. I'm 44 years old, and my grandparents are just in their 80s now. So I don't look. I'm not like, oh, old people or whatever. That's not how I do things like that. So to me, an old person is like 110. That's an old person. So bear with me, because we are on my laptop. We're not at the studio, so we're going to have to be really careful how we do this, so we don't get booted from the system. So I'm pulling up video number 1. Okay, so I want you to bear with me okay. And like a lot of meetings that we watch, and this is something that probably needs to be discussed, it might be hard to hear, but I'll help you with that. Okay. You're not 110, Cindy. What in the world? You're not 110. You're still very much a young woman. I would even consider this person a young woman, but okay. So we're going to share this. You're going to see this, and vintage. Oh, that's a good way to say it. Vintage. Yes. Okay. So what we're going to share here on the screen, first and foremost, is this is an already in progress redevelopment commission meeting. Here in Muncie, we have a redevelopment commission meeting, and it routinely has issues that we have to discuss and gripe about. This is an already in progress redevelopment commission meeting, and it's a redevelopment commission meeting from Anderson, Indiana. Okay. I'm going to put this up here. Okay, Kate is back at the controls. Let me tell you this, Kate. I'm afraid, because we're on the laptop tonight and not in the studio, I'm afraid that something, if I push it a little too hard, I might crash out. If I crash out, I'll be right back. But just I wanted to give you a heads up. Anderson City. We'll do this. Give me 1 second here. City of Anderson Redevelopment Commission meeting. Okay. So this is the City of Anderson, Indiana Redevelopment Commission meeting, and I'm not 100% sure when this is from. I'm a little confused. I don't know if this is from Tuesday or if this was from a month ago, because I'm going to show you 3 clips. And one of the clips I definitely know is from just this past Tuesday. The other 2 clips might be from this past Tuesday, or they might be from a month ago, but it's bizarre because basically everybody's wearing the same clothes. I routinely wear the same shirt repeatedly, like not the same shirt, but the same kind of shirt. I have like 5 or 6 of the same shirt in everything I wear. I didn't know that other people do that, but I'm starting to catch on that a lot of people are doing that. So I guess that's what's happening here, because from month to month, these people are wearing the same clothes. Sims can be a prick most of the time. Yes. So that's the other thing that we've got going here. So the people that are in this meeting, the Anderson, and I want to be sure to call these people out for what these people are. So Anderson, Indiana Redevelopment Commission. Okay, I want to call these out. So the gentleman that we are looking at the far end of the table here in the blue, his name is Mr. Richard Dick Sims. Okay? And the members of this board are Richard Sims. Richard Sims is the president. We also apparently have Mr. David Ikes, Kenneth Davenport, Danny McGee. How many people are on this board? So we've got Pete Bitar, Richard Sims, David Ikes, Ken Davenport. Okay, Danny McGee. So that's the 5 of them. Those are the 5 voting members. And then Joan Collette is the non-voting member. So it's just like Muncie's. There are 6 people on the board. One of them is a non-voting member, so that means we have a 5-person board. Okay, so we're going to start this meeting. We're going to start this, and I believe this is from last month. And the person that is videoing is my very, very, very dear friend, Rebecca Crooms. She is a former city councilor of the city of Anderson. So it's not like she's just some nobody. I mean, you know, and I don't mean that. It's not like she's just some citizen. She's been involved in government and knows what's going on here. So she knows what's right. She knows what's wrong. She knows what the rules are. She knows what the laws are. She knows what she can do and what she can't do. So we're going to start this recording, and this recording starts already in progress with something going on. So probably we'll watch it, and then we'll have to play back through it. So this is a 22-second clip. Here it goes.
Brought to my attention that there's some of the members of this committee that do not like having that telephone stuck in their face. So if you want to sit there and take the telephone, you have to stay in that chair. They don't want you up walking around when they're doing it.
Well, could you speak up so I can hear?
I will be more than glad to speak up. I have a loud voice. I can speak up. Been brought to my attention.
Okay, so in that 22-second clip, he says, it's been brought to my attention that some of the members of this board do not like or feel comfortable with you sticking that camera in their face. ladies and gentlemen, I've watched Rebecca Croom's live stream meetings probably for the better part of 5 years. Probably for the better part of 5 years, I've watched Miss Croom's live stream meetings, and she's very good at it. She's very good. She does a great job. She provides transparency when transparency normally just hasn't been there. She does a good job. Now, sometimes the audio might be low. That's not her fault. She's doing the best that she can. She's in a room. She's not a professional recording outfit. She's just recording it with her phone. I would say that the volume issue is more a their problem, not a her problem. They need to speak up. They need to enunciate. They're in a position and a place where they should be speaking up so that everyone can hear them. Okay? So, in all of the times that I have watched her video, I have never watched her take a phone and shove it in somebody's face. I have never witnessed her get up in someone's bubble. I think she's kind of like me. She likes to kind of be left alone in her own little bubble. And normally people who are like that understand and they don't get in other people's bubbles. I have never seen Miss Crooms act inappropriately with her camera ever. So the fact that he is saying it's been brought to my attention that some of the members of this board don't like that camera in their face, we have to kind of read between his lines. What he means there is they don't like appearing on camera. They don't like that she's there and recording their meetings and their commentary and their content and all of that. That's what they don't like. Now, that's a them problem because they are publicly appointed city officials. They are appointed by either the mayor or the council. Okay, it's a 5-person board. The non-voting member is appointed by like the school system. The mayor appoints 3 members, and the council appoints 2. So they're all appointed by elected officials. That means they are appointed public servants. They are having and conducting a public meeting during the public hours, during the daytime, in a public meeting. And yes, I will say, the meeting a couple months before this, she had been up, because let me tell you, very much like Muncie. So first of all, I don't like how this meeting happens. They need to meet like in city council chambers. They need to meet to where all of the board is sitting this way and the public can come in and see them. They're just in an office room around a conference table. I'm sure it's hard for the public to find this. I'm sure it's hard the public's like, I'm not going to go walk in here and walk around the building. This is all done in an attempt to stop citizens from coming to these meetings. That's what's happening. These meetings tend to produce a lot of content. This is a meeting where they hand out a lot of money and they do a lot of money. There's a lot of like quick deals that happen, very much like Muncie's. And they put up a lot of boards. They put up a lot of presentations. There's people that come and speak. And I want to be very clear. The public access counselor is right. Well, Ikes, as the deputy mayor, is appointed by the mayor, so he's not an elected position. So Ikes is the president of the Board of Works. That's appointed by the mayor. His position as deputy mayor is appointed by the mayor, and he's also a member of this board, and that is appointed. He's appointed. So he is an appointed official. They're all city officials. They all need to be careful. Exactly, but they're all appointed officials, and so not wanting to, be in the limelight or whatever. Like, if that's the way they feel, someone needs to sit down and have a talk with them, and they need to be shown the door. But these meetings take place, and a lot of information happens in them. And the public access counselor has been very clear that citizens or press or anyone that attends these meetings, they can get up, video, take pictures, audio record, video record, and we have the right to record anything and everything that's happening in these meetings. So that's that. So before we go on, I'm going to play this one more time, just so we all have an understanding of what's happening here. This is what was said like a month ago.
It brought to my attention that there's some of the members of this committee that do not like having that telephone stuck in their face. So if you want to sit there and take the telephone, you have to stay in that chair. They don't want you up walking around when they're doing it.
Well, could you speak up so I can
I
hear?
will be more than glad to speak up. I can have a loud voice. I can speak up. It brought to my
Okay, now we're going to come back to this, but this is just the first. This is the first issue. Okay, we're going to come back to this, and there's going to be more that happens here, but we're going to go on now to the second video that occurs. Okay, and the second video is kind of along the same topic. Rebecca questions this decision, this rule. This is a 2-minute video, and we're gonna watch that now. Let me see here. We'll pull it back up on the stream. Okay, so this is now a 2-minute video, and let's continue on here now. Okay.
so we get to something.
I just want clarification on what you just got through saying about the rules of.
Now pause. Okay, we're all giving Sims the appropriate heat that he needs. And we're going to come back to Sims, but I want everyone to draw their attention to this fine specimen. This fine specimen of a human here. This man who's just about had all that he can take of Rebecca asking questions. He's got his head in his hands. He routinely shakes his head. He routinely hits his head and blows out and like sighs and makes this great big commotion because he doesn't like what's being asked, or he doesn't like a citizen. I don't know what his deal is. I don't know if it's he doesn't like a citizen asking questions. He doesn't like a woman asking questions. He doesn't like a black woman asking questions. I don't know what his problem is, but he needs to take a chill pill. All right, we'll get back to that. Okay, here we go.
Video in the meeting.
You can video it from.
She wants clarification on what he's talking about videoing the meeting. So apparently at some point he's, told her this is about the whole thing that he wants her to sit down. They don't like this camera in their faces. So she's looking for further explanation
on what you just got through saying about the rules of video in the meeting.
You can video it from right there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now, is that part of your rules, or is that just something you saying, or?
That's part of what this group wants. It's not just me, it's what this group wants. I wasn't even here last
Well,
night.
they need to vote on it or put.
Now look, he's pinching his nose, shaking his head, and Mr. Sims needs to understand that this board, Well, they can put what they want in one hand and they can shit in the other and see which they get first. And I think I could help him out with that. But just because they say they want something means exactly, well, Mr. Sims here, it means exactly dick. Okay? It doesn't mean anything. Nobody cares. All right? So let's go on.
It in writing or something. So you can just sit up here and just say anything. I don't think so.
It's our meeting.
That's how that works.
No. And I'm going to, I'm talking to you. I know stuff that you guys don't know. There's information that I know that you don't know yet. So I'm going to walk you along, and then I'm going to present some information that you guys, because I know some of you have seen these clips, but there's some information out here that I don't think all of you might know yet. So we'll get to that in a moment, but I think Mr. Sims needs a lesson. He's wrong. This is not his meeting or their meeting. This is the public's meeting. He is a public official leading a public meeting. This is the public's meeting. Okay?
We'll check it out. Well, then you got an attorney here. What do you have to say about that?
Now, okay. Great. We have a legal eagle here. We got the attorney here. Now, this attorney, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Mike Austin. Okay, he's an attorney. He's the city attorney. He represents the city, the mayor's office, the administration, and he represents like these boards. And surely he's going to come to her defense and say, well, yes, you're right. You know, clearly you can get up and you can film. You know, he's going to say the right thing here, right? Let's listen.
Well,
I can't stand up if I can't hear. I don't have the phone in nobody's face. But I can't stand up.
So her phone got a message at that point. But what he says is, Mr. Sims is right. He is the president of this meeting. He presides over the meeting. So it sounds like he's getting ready to defend Mr. Sims. Let's go on.
So he has the right to say, this is how I want the meeting conducted.
They don't have to write it in.
He has the right to say, this is how I want the meeting conducted. Maybe Mike needs to re-examine some law books. Let's go on.
Write it in a form or
This commission does not have written procedural rules. So
no
presiding officer.
So whatever he says.
So what he says about the conduct of the meeting is what really should be followed.
Well, I understand the conduct, but I'm not understanding the fact that I can't get out of this chair if I can't hear. I have not had the phone in anybody's face. I may have stood close so we could hear.
But Rebecca, let me put it this way. If you want to stand up right where you're at and hold that phone and look at it, that's fine. But I don't want you walking around this table. And it's not just me. There's 6 members on this committee.
Look. I mean, Mr. Winkler here is like laughing. He's agreeing. Like, dude, I almost dislike the bald dude more than Mr. Sims. I'll be honest. But let's continue on.
Here when it was discussed. So I'm just telling you, this is what the committee wants, and this is how it's going to be.
Well, I understand that, but say the committee, you're setting a precedent here. So what if they say, I don't want no women in here next month?
Really for we the people.
So we get to something.
Okay, so that's that. All right, we've heard that. Now, we are going to go. Yeah, right. They act like they've got top secret papers laying out, or they've got writing on maybe on the back of Winkler's head here. Okay, now let's go listen to the third video. And to me, they're all bad. Like when I watched the first video, it's the worst video. Then when I watched this video, it's the worst video. Then when I watched the third video that we're getting ready to watch here in a minute, it's the worst video. They are all the exact equal bad, and they're all the worst one at the time that's being watched. Okay? let's go and look here at what's happening. We're going to pull up the third video and see what goes on in that. What kind of fun stuff are we going to hear? Now, this third video, it was recorded. Those first two videos that we just watched, I believe, came from the meeting in June. The video that we're getting ready to watch now, it's a 3-minute long video. So we got 3 minutes of this stuff. And this 3-minute long video is a meeting from just this Tuesday, July 8th. Okay? So Tuesday, July 8th, this meeting was recorded. Rebecca was there, as always, faithful, servant of the people. Still, even though she's no longer a counselor currently, she's a citizen. She's out there rock and rolling and doing her job, and I absolutely love her to death. She's one of my favorite people. And let me tell you this: if it wasn't Rebecca, if this was John Doe or Jane Doe, I would be saying the exact same thing. If this was not Anderson, if it was Evansville, if it was California, as long as I looked the laws up and the laws fit and they were the same or whatever, it has nothing to do with this being Anderson or Rebecca. Okay, but I love Rebecca, so it makes it that much worse. Okay, now we're going to go on to video number 3, and we're going to watch this monstrosity.
The audience has to say your name and your address once at a meeting. When you first start. So, if you want to ask a question.
So, let's just start this off here. He says, the audience, I guess he means citizens, the citizens in the audience have to say their name and their address, which this is my pet peeve. This is why I tell everybody everywhere, quit saying, like even the people that are nice in the world that like to play along, like the Dave Sargents and people like that, quit giving your address, quit normalizing it. We all must push back so things like this don't occur. So he literally has just told her here in the first 12 minutes, in order for her to say something or in order for her to speak, this woman, who, may or may not live alone, may or may not feel safe to this, has to give her address on a video that's streaming out to everyone now, so everyone can have her address. And that's just not a thing that's laughable. Let's not even talk about for the fact that the access counselor has already ruled that they cannot force this, that this is a gross violation. It really dances around First Amendment violations. You just basically what this is an attempt is this is an attempt at intimidating citizens from speaking. That's all this is. Okay, let's go on.
You have to tell them your name and your address.
I was told that the address, that's not mandatory.
She's right.
Who
Okay.
told you?
Okay. Let's back up there. He says, well, it's mandatory at this meeting. Let's go back and listen to this. Because she says, well, I was told, and I know a lot of people have told her this, but I specifically have told her this. And I have told her this. She's talked to Luke Britt in the past. She is a former city councilor. She knows what is going on. Okay? They are completely out of line here. And the fact that no one else is stepping up, the fact that the attorney is not stepping up is gross. All right, let's continue on.
Mandatory.
Mandatory at this meeting, that's what I was just hoping to do.
It's mandatory at this meeting. That's what I was just told to do. Okay, told by who? Let's listen.
Who told you?
That's the way this meeting's going to run.
Well,
Whoa! Did he start to tell her that's not that? He when he talks, he starts to say things a couple times and then he stops. I believe when she said "Who told you?" he started to say that's none of your business. wait a minute, you're asking me for my address, and you're telling me that the person who told you that you had to ask for my address is none of my business? I think, Mr. Sims, you have your head screwed on backwards. I want to hear that again, because I think he caught himself. Had he said that, I would have blown a gasket. But let's listen. I think he started to say that's none of your business. Let's listen.
Mandatory.
Mandatory this meeting, that's what I was just hoping to do.
Who told you?
That's the way this meeting's going to run.
Well,
Yeah, he started to say that's none of your that's the way this meeting is going to run. That's exactly what that idiot said. Let's go on. So he's saying that's how this meeting's going to run.
listen, I don't want to argue, but I'm just telling you what I was told, that it is not mandated by law that we give our name and address. I can give you my zip code, but if that's a rule that this body has made, did they do it in a meeting? Did you post it? Where can you read it?
All good questions.
That's the way that was supposed to go. Now, that's what I was told. Now, you saying you was told different. Who told you that? Well, I was told something different. That's why you have to publish it.
Now, I want to pause this. For the people of Anderson, I don't know. Who is this Drew Carey looking dipshit here? Who is this Drew Carey dude? Who's this guy right here? People of Anderson, let me know. Who's the guy in the salmon shirt? Who is that? Can someone tell me? He looks like Drew Carey. If someone can tell me who he is, that would be fantastic. While I'm waiting, I want to look at some of the comments here. Oh, no! That's Ike's? I've never seen Ike's in person. I've always only talked to him over the phone. I've never seen Ike's in person. So that's David Ike's? Well, Ike's is a loser, too. I can tell you wholeheartedly from the bottom of my heart and soul, this show, The Political Spotlight, believes that David Ike's is absolutely a loser. All right, let's continue on. Because Ike's pipes in here in a minute too with some just nonsense.
That was supposed to go. Now, that's what I was told. Now, you saying you was told different. Who told you that? Well, I was told something different. That's why you have to publish it. How are you going to come in here every time I come? I will say I'm 46011. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to tell him my name because I don't have to. It's not mandated by law. That we went through this on the city council because somebody got harassed. All you need to know is if I live in this community.
Now, pause. I love Rebecca, but I have to correct her. They do not need to know if she lives in this community. A woman could drive to Anderson from Seattle, Washington, sit her happy little butt in one of their seats, stand up and speak, and there is nothing they could do about it. They cannot stop someone from speaking. I want to say this so the people out there watching will know. There are only a couple of meetings by a couple of boards that can actually demand your name and address. And that is a township board, okay? That is a township board, township trustee. If you're there and you're asking for aid or assistance, or you're going to be giving commentary about aid or assistance, then the township board trustee can ask for the speaker's addresses, and the speakers do have to provide those addresses. I have also heard that there are a few instances at school board meetings where an address can be required. Not at all school board meetings and not for all comments. There are just a specific couple of instances, and I will work to find out what those are exactly. But the main one is the township trustee. The bottom line is, and I want to be very clear about this, individuals speaking before the Indiana General Assembly, whether it be the state Senate or state representatives, individuals speaking before county commissioners or county council, city council, any city or county redevelopment board, board of works, park board, drainage board, planning board, zoning board, BZA, all of that stuff, anyone speaking to anything in a town council, any kind of legislative or executive bodies or boards that meet at the local or state and or federal level, you do not listen to me. You do not need to issue your name or your address to speak. If you want to give your name, you're more than welcome, and I almost always do. There's not a reason to not give your name. Sometimes if I know they're going to be crazy, I'll test them and I bump them a little bit, but I don't have a problem saying, hey, it's Kristopher Bilbrey, yada, yada, yada. But they cannot demand your name or address to speak. If you want to get up and say, I am a concerned citizen, I am an American citizen, I am a Hoosier, my name is John Doe, my name is Jane Doe. If you want to give your zip code so they know, hey, I am a constituent here, you can give your zip code. I've got no problem with what Rebecca did there. What she said was brilliant. If you want to let them know, hey, buddy, I vote here, and I'm going to remember this, you can give them your zip code if you want. Okay, but that's very, very important to know. Okay, so we're going to go on and listen to the rest of this because we're only a minute 18 into it.
Since this is on television,
Okay. So now what he's doing is he's trying to conflate this in with the new law. Since this is on television, we now have to ask for your address. Nope, that's not part of the new law. That did not happen. Now, Mr. Ignorant Ass Ikes down in the pink shirt down there, he speaks up and you can't really hear what he says. I've listened to it several times. I've put it on my system and been able to boost it. He says, as a redevelopment commissioner, he's talking to himself all big and bad. As a redevelopment commissioner, I want to know the address because I want to know who I'm speaking to. I want to know the name and the address because I want to know who I'm speaking to. Sorry. I guess we'll stand up and we'll say, well, my name is David Ikes, and then give his address. That's what we'll do. Okay? So if he wants to play that game, I'll stand up and go, yes, hello, my name is David Ikes, and I live at, I'll get his address, and we can do that if he wants. But I'm sorry about that. Okay, let's go on and listen.
Can Rebecca, this dick?
I'm just
Okay, we're getting ready to be saved here because the attorney's going to break in and is going to tell us the whole hard cold facts, and he's going to save her and be the good lawyerly figure here, and he's going to let us hear it. What's he say here?
telling you.
Officer of this particular meeting.
He is the presiding officer of this particular meeting. Okay. And I've got 2 feet. What else what are we just shouting things that are, facts? I don't care that he's the presiding officer of this meeting. He's saying things that are wrong.
Got the right as the
Well, why don't
Okay, now this is interesting because we hear something different. Listen to what he says, and I want you to remember this. He says he has the right. He has the right. I have all kinds of rights. I know my rights upside and downside. And I have never heard anybody tell me that I have the right to ask someone for their address.
you publish those rules, Mr. Austin? You're an attorney. How come every time I come in here, we got new rules that you say you've made or you've discussed? Last month, it was about the me sit down and don't get out of the chair. That's fine, but where do you have these rules written at? And as far as you want to know who you're talking to, that is not state law that people have to say their name and address. Well, you're not in.
And he says, as a commissioner of this board, I want to know who I'm talking to.
An authority to make.
And I love Rebecca. I love Rebecca because she's getting in their ass, and she says, "You're not an authority to make that rule." And he pipes back to her and he says, "Well, you're not an authority either. Excuse me, she's your boss, Mr. Ikes. The most important seat in this meeting is the seat held by the citizens." Okay? I think that they forget that. Let's go on.
That law. Well, and you not either. You're talking to 46011.
Let's move on.
Now let's move on, he says. Okay? Well, let's see if Rebecca lets them move on.
Let's move on.
No.
Your question will not be answered unless you want to give.
Your question will not be answered unless you want to give your name and address.
Your name and your address.
Well, I'm going to still ask it. You getting ready to loan $8 million. What was the amount?
Rebecca?
$7 million to the utility department. Oh, what?
Your name and your address.
I'm not. Well, you don't have to answer. I'm still saying what I'm going to say.
This is not your meeting.
Yeah, yes, exactly it is. That's the second time he's told her that.
I know that.
Okay.
I'm just asking that you post your rules.
So now he asks someone else if they have a question. Let's hear how that goes.
Give me your name and your address, Donna.
He says, "Donna, give me your name and your address." How ignorant is it for me to say, "Hey, Steve, could you give me your name?" You know how stupid that is? "Hey, Donna, could you give me your name and your address?" I wish she would have been like, my name is Sandy. Like, what did you just call me? You just called me Donna. Obviously, you know my name is Donna. No, I'm not going to give you my address. Let's hear what she does.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to provide my address either.
Woo! White woman Donna to the rescue. She stands up and comes to the rescue of Rebecca, and she says, "I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you my address either." I love that. I don't know who that woman is, and I am so happy that she said that. "I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you my address either."
Your rules.
Give me your name and your address, Donna.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to provide my address either. You know my name. You call me by name.
I've known you, yes, but these people don't know me.
Can I have everyone's name and address that's on the commission?
Sure. It's posted.
It's posted where? Where is it posted? It's posted. Where is it posted? Yeah, and so for the record, that's Ken. And what's interesting to me is he has written an article about this event, but he didn't cover any of this. He covered none of this. Well, William Wise, he was on a power trip, but the only person in this world, and I promise you, that is a bigger asshole than Mr. Sims and has a bigger ego than Mr. Sims is the person I'm getting ready to show you right now. The only person that is a bigger asshole and has a bigger ego than Mr. Sims is this person. Right here. Yes, please. So I didn't like that that was the only time in the world that I was happy. Like, I'm glad that you shrunk it back, but that was the only time in the world that I was happy that it went full screen. I didn't even do that on purpose. That was perfect. So I listened to this, and needless to say, it made me so, I had a hard time. I listened to it, whatever time Catherine was on, like when we got off the show, whatever night that was, I was doing some work afterwards. I was doing some work, and I was scrolling down through, and I saw Rebecca's videos, and I was like, oh, I think I'll watch this. And I clicked through it, and I heard this happen, and I was so angry. I was so angry, like I didn't sleep well that night, because I was like, I need to try to reach out and talk to these people. So here's what happened. I thought, I have an issue with this redevelopment commission. They're wrong, and I want to try to redirect them. So what I did was, I figured the best way would be to reach out and to just contact. I figured I would just reach out and contact Mr. Sims myself. So I wanted to reach out to him, and I had a couple of different sources that helped provide their contact information. So on Thursday, January 10th at 8:33 a.m., I contacted Mr. Sims, and I'm going to let you hear that now. I've recorded it for you and your enjoyment. Let's listen together. And Kate, when I play this, you're going to have to give me a thumbs up and tell me if you can hear it. I think you should be able to, but you'll have to give me a thumbs up. But let me play. Hold on here.
Richard Sims.
Hello, Mr. Sims. Hi, how's it going?
Good.
You're the president of the Redevelopment Commission, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm calling because there have been some concerns about the new rules of the Redevelopment Commission. You guys are requiring citizens, if they attend, to... Did I turn it down there? It was real loud. Did that turn down? Let me try to turn it, because that was coming in real hot. Let me see if I got it turned down. Try this again.
Richard Sims.
Hello, Mr. Sims. Hi, how's it going?
Good.
You're the president of the Redevelopment Commission, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm calling because there have been some concerns about the new rules of the Redevelopment Commission. You guys are requiring citizens, if they attend, to give their address before speaking. Is that correct? My name's Kristopher Bilbrey.
And what is your position in this?
I could just be a citizen, but I'm a political commentator, and so I'm just trying to understand
Why don't you just come to a meeting and see what the rules are?
Well, I mean, you work for the city of Anderson, correct?
I do.
So I guess I'm trying to get this figured out ahead of time so we can let the citizens understand what this information is, because
they're not complete yet. And when they're complete and we got all the rules down, then we will make them public.
Okay, but so on Tuesday you stopped a citizen from asking a question because she wouldn't give her address, correct? Oh, for God's sake, is that what you said?
I never stopped her from she made her statement.
Okay, and did you guys answer her? Or did you tell her you would not answer her because she didn't give her address?
Well,
I mean, I've watched the video.
Have a good day, sir. I'm not going to argue with you.
No, I don't need you to hang up. Oh, God, amazing. So I'm gonna tell you. I will kind of. I'm gonna jump ahead here real quick and let you know that all of this ends with an email that I eventually send to the mayor's office. Okay, and so need to work on your delivery of what. I don't quite understand what you're be talking about there. So okay, what?
Doesn't Catherine always get told that she has to work on her delivery? That
Oh,
she's just too out there when she brings this stuff up. She needs to be a nicer person.
Yeah,
So she's giving you shit for it.
Yeah. I was being really nice to him. I was really nice. That was about as nice as it could get. Okay, so we'll do through this real quick here, and just so you guys can see this. This is basically what that call was. So he answers. Okay. He says his name. I say, hello, Mr. Sims. Hi, how's it going? He says, good. I said, you're the president of the Redevelopment Commission, aren't you? Yes, sir. Okay, I'm calling because there have been some concerns about the new rules, I guess, of the Redevelopment Commission. You guys are requiring citizens, if they attend, to give their address before speaking. Is that correct? To which he's already, before I get, is that correct out, he's saying, who are you? I say, my name is Kristopher Bilbrey. Isn't that enough? Like, does he want my address too? He says, what is your position in this? I said, well, I could be a citizen, but I'm a political commentator. And so I'm just trying to understand, to which he cuts me off and says, why don't you just come to a meeting and see what the rules are? Wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, look, we don't go and buy the game Sorry for some little kids, get home, take the game apart, put it on the table, dump all the pieces out, and say, start playing, and then halfway through, read the rules. You generally get the rules and read the rules and understand the rules ahead of time before you start. So it doesn't make sense for me to come to the meeting. What if I came to the meeting wearing an orange shirt, and their new rules state that you can't come to the meeting wearing an orange shirt? Like, it would be nice to know ahead of time. So I said, well, I mean, you work for the city of Anderson, correct? Because this statement that he made, why don't you just come to a meeting and see what the rules are? It pissed me off. I was already pissed off when I was talking to him. But I was like, well, you work for the city of Anderson, correct? He said, I do. I said, so I guess I'm trying to get this figured out ahead of time so we can let the citizens understand what this information is, because, and he cuts me off at that point. And he says, they're not complete yet. Well, but what do you mean? They're not complete yet. I just watched you cut Rebecca down for 3 minutes, telling them that these are the rules, this is the rights, this is how it is. I saw this, I witnessed this, I've heard it. But I'm like, what is going on here? So he cuts me off and says, they're not complete yet. And when they're complete and we got all the rules down, then we will make them public. I said, okay, but so on Tuesday, and then he said something that was unintelligible. I couldn't make it out, no matter how many times I listened to it. Then I said, well, so on Tuesday, you stopped a citizen from asking a question because she wouldn't give her address, correct? To which he says, "Oh, for God's sake." What? 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 I don't understand. I'm asking you a simple question. I'm not cussing. I'm not yelling. I'm not screaming. Oh, for God's sakes. I repeat back to him, "Oh, for God's sake, is that what you said?" He then says, "I never stopped her from she made her statement." Okay, he's right. She did make a statement. Okay, and did you guys answer her? Or did you tell her you would not answer her because she did not give her address? He says, "No, that's a lie, because they did not answer her because she would not give her address." He said, "No, other intelligible." I said, "I've watched," because he starts saying something else, like he's going to tell me some other thing, but I want to let him know I've already seen the video, so no more lying to me. I say, I've watched the video. To which he cuts me off and says, "Have a good day, sir. I'm not going to argue with you. Goodbye." He ends the call like a rude asshole, not how a public servant should behave. That's the official transcript, by the way, too. In the recording, I clipped it for that, but you actually hear me say, no, I don't need you to hang up. And the call ends at 8:35 a.m. on 10th July 2025. Okay, so this has now got me all kinds of bothered. But I'm not ready to stop there. No. What do? I say, well, let's call the attorney. I think the attorney might be able to be more helpful. So before we call the attorney, though, what did we learn from Mr. Sims? We learned from Mr. Sims first that he's not somebody that will just be transparent and open. Like, he really needs to know who you are, and he needs to know why you need to know. Like, I just woke up and God put it into my mind to call you and ask you these questions, dude. That's the only reason I need to know. That's the only reason I need to know. But I was straight with him. I didn't want to hide. I told him, I'm a political commentator, and I'm wanting to know this stuff. Well, then he lied to me a couple of times. He told me, like, they're not ready. No, that's not what he told Rebecca. So which is it? Are they ready? Is this the rules? Is it right? Is it the law? Is it my rules? He went back and forth on whether it was rules or whether it was law. Let's be clear. It's neither. It is and was neither. It is and was neither. Neither. Never, ever, ever. Okay? There was nothing there. Okay? Also, then once I told him I've seen it, I've seen the video, he says he's not, that he didn't cut her off. He didn't not answer her, and then he hangs up on me. Okay, well, interesting. I don't like that when I ask him the question, he said, "Oh, for God's sakes." I don't like that. That makes me mad. That's not how he should be speaking to someone calling him. He should be more professional than that. That lets me know the disdain he has for Rebecca. That wasn't aimed at me. That was aimed at, he's like, "Oh, this lady's causing me this grief." That's what that was. Okay? So now we're going to go back and we're going to listen to my call to Mr. Mike Austin, the attorney. Okay? So let's do that. Okay? Here we go.
Yes, hello?
Hello, is this Mr. Austin?
Yes, this is he.
Hi.
My name's Kristopher Bilbrey, and I'm a political commentator based out of Indiana. And I'm trying to get to the bottom of a situation. I just called Mr. Richard Sims to speak to him about, I guess, what he stated was a law concerning the Redevelopment Commission. And he stated in a meeting.
What are you telling me, Kate? You can't hear it? It's too... I need to turn it up? Turn it down.
Political commentator based out of Indiana, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of a situation. I just called Mr. Richard Sims to speak to him about, I guess, what he stated was a law concerning the Redevelopment Commission, and he stated in a meeting yesterday that they would not be answering questions from citizens who would not give their address before speaking. And I'm just checking to make sure where they got that information from. Is that information that you had gave them as the attorney, or was that something that he was just acting on? Because that is absolutely far from the truth. So I'm just trying to decide where he got that information from. I called him a moment ago, and he apparently got pissed off and was extremely out. I mean, in my opinion, from a standpoint of a public servant, he was extremely rude. When I asked him a question, he said, "Oh, for God's sakes," and then he hung up on me.
Okay, well, that subject came up, and I think at this point I've been asked to review the issue, and then to work on some perhaps some procedural rules.
Sure.
The commission could adopt, addressing that very issue.
Okay, all right. So wait a minute here, Mr. Austin. Could you I know it was like 8:35, 8:40 in the morning when I called him, and it was a little earlier. So I don't know what exactly he was doing. I don't know if he was could you quit pouring the sugar in your tank or whatever it is that you're doing and speak up? I don't understand. He seems very timid and he's scared, and he wasn't talking that scared. He wasn't talking that scared when he was addressing Catherine, and he wasn't talking about this is something that we're looking into. This is something that they've asked me to look into. He was why is he not telling me that, oh yes, I told her and I told them that he could make up anything he wanted to make up, and we had to go by it, that he is the God of this realm. Why did he not tell me that? He's oh hell. So let's continue on here.
I don't think there's been any decisions made yet.
Well, there's not been any decisions made yet. Wait a minute. You guys bullied a woman. I'll quit saying a woman. You bullied a citizen and stopped them from speaking. What?
You understand as an attorney that that is absolutely inaccurate. And I hope that you will advise them in the future that a citizen could attend their meeting, and at the point that they would have question or answer, someone could stand. I mean, I guess if I showed up, what I would do is I would give Sim's address. If I was going to give an address, I don't have to give my name to speak. I don't have to give an address to speak. I mean, I could show up from Seattle, Washington and speak. So the point of giving an address makes no real sense. But the Public Access Counselor's Office has been very clear that citizens cannot be forced to give address. They don't have to sign up to speak. That is basically a way to stop or intimidate citizens from speaking, more or less. And
and I think that's So basically,
So what? Right there, it sounds like he agreed with me. It sounds like he just agreed with. He said he's like, yeah. Well, so basically, I'm confused. What? Has he called Rebecca and apologized to her? I'm going to give Rebecca his phone number, and I think she needs to call and ask for an apology. I think I might call her and put her on three-way, and I might call and say, hey, I have Rebecca on the line with me. Would you like to apologize to her now?
Point. I'm just reviewing the issue.
Okay.
So I haven't reached any conclusions at this point.
Well, I'm just very concerned because there's video from the meeting where basically they refused to answer a question from a citizen because she wouldn't give her address.
Yeah.
And that's at that point that when I said that to Mr. Sims just 10 minutes ago, that's when he said, "Oh, for God's sakes," and then hung up on me. I then tried to get his, I tried to call him back to get his direct supervisor, and he wouldn't answer. I texted him.
Let me be clear. I knew who his direct supervisor was. I just wanted to see if he would tell me. So I'm playing a little coy here.
Won't answer. So I don't know. Do you know who his direct, would it be the mayor?
Well, he is the president of the redevelopment commission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's a mayor's appointee.
So he's appointed by the mayor. Right. Okay, we'll have to call the mayor. I think that when you're calling to, because he, first of all, he was really concerned with who I am. I don't know why they're so concerned with that. I mean, I'm John Doe from 123 Main Street. None of that stuff matters. But I did tell him who I was. He was extremely hostile when I just even announcing who I was. I'm not rude. I'm not cussing. I'm talking to him the same way that I'm talking to you, but he seemed very agitated. And then to answer the question with, "Oh, for God's sakes," and then hanging up on me, I don't know what kind of service that is, but hopefully that's not the service that Anderson is trying to, I guess, put forward to the citizens. I just think that's a very bad. That's a very bad look. So
I can't address that. But So again, what we're doing,
of course, because as the city attorney for the city of Anderson, I can't address whether we're trying to be rude assholes to people or if we're trying to put forward a kind of a professional type of, like, oh, okay, now he's like being really lawyerly,
But why don't you text me if you don't mind?
Yeah.
I'm just arriving at the office here on my cell. Mm-hmm. Is the number you've got? If you could just text me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've got the number here.
Okay.
Well, I'm happy to. Again, my task is to review the issue and see what kind of rules we ought to adopt about this.
Okay.
So I'm happy to take a look.
It sounded like there was a cut there, and there was a cut there. It was a cut there. Because I cut out my phone number and his. We traded phone numbers, and so I cut that out. Not that you guys don't have it and know it, but I sent it out to other people, and I was like, I'm not gonna put that in there. So that's what that. There was a jump there, but that's what I edited. Sorry.
Put that, then get back to you.
Okay. All right. Well,
I was gonna look into all of this and get back to me. I've got a little sneak thing here I'm going to talk to you about here in just a minute, but okay, so that's that.
Let me know, and please, I hope going forward things will be a little bit. And then he also had said something about telling her she had to sit in her seat. I couldn't imagine being in 2025 and being a white man and telling a black woman to sit down. That's absolutely nuts. So I hope you guys definitely take a look at this, and I think that there are some things that's happened in this meeting in the last couple months that's been extremely out of line. So hopefully you guys take care of this, and we'll see what happens. Keep me in touch. I'm definitely interested.
Okay, very good. Okay, appreciate the call.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, and then from there, I then called the mayor's office.
Is the mayor available?
He's at an out-of-office meeting this morning. Can I take a message?
Sure can. I'm just trying to get in contact with him about a question reference the redevelopment commission.
Okay.
And I can give you my name and number.
Okay.
My name is Kristopher Bilbrey. My phone number is 765.
Okay, wait.
Yep, you're fine.
Okay, and it's 765 area code?
Yep, 546. 9796.
Okay, and what was your question about the redevelopment commission?
Well, I guess my question is, I was trying to go directly to the redevelopment commission, so I called Mr. Richard Sims to ask him a question. And when I called to ask him a question, he was more concerned with who I was than actually the question. So he wouldn't answer until I told him who I was. I finally did. And then when I asked him the question, instead of answering, he said, "Oh, for God's sakes," and then hung up on me.
Oh my God.
So my question is, number one, is this the kind of public service that Anderson is trying to offer to people? I mean, that seems very concerning to me. I have that on recording if the mayor wants to hear it. So I'm not making this up. I wasn't being rude. I'm speaking to him with the same level of volume I'm speaking to you. And I'll tell you what the concern is. So I called him to ask him about a quote unquote.
So from there, I basically go on and I tell her everything. She doesn't really say much. She tells me she will get my information to the mayor and the mayor will call me back, yada, yada, yada. So that's basically what that is. And so the person I spoke to there is Julie Griswold, who is the mayor's secretary and girlfriend. So that's what that's that. So surprisingly, the mayor did not call me back Thursday, and today's Friday. The mayor did not call me back today. I have not heard from the mayor. I'm not going to quit calling. I'm not going to stop. I will continue reaching out. Mr. Ray Walker here has said, well, I would say they're always rude and disrespectful to Rebecca Crooms. They hate when she asks questions or questions them on anything. And Mr. Sims is the main one that disrespects her. Yes, clearly. Now, I will also say I don't believe that it's just a Rebecca thing. Like, I'm getting ready to read to you an email that I sent to the mayor today and to several other folks. And I don't think it's just Rebecca. I think that Sims is one of those individuals that he just looks down upon anybody that he believes is lower than him, below him. And of course, Rebecca Crooms is below him for many reasons. You know, I'm sure that's what he's thinking. But I'm sure he would look down on me, and he would look down on you, and he would look down on, you know, I'm sure everybody outside of his orbit is lower than he, so he looks down on those people. Okay. So I did not hear back from the mayor, and so I decided today that I would send an email to the mayor, to the executive assistant, Julie Griswold, to David Ikes, to Dick Sims, and to the attorney. And I sent it to all of them. I said, City of Anderson officials, Mayor Broderick, executive assistant Griswold, David Ikes, Dick Sims, and city attorney, whatever. Okay. I'm sending this email to highlight 2 or 3 key issues that require attention regarding the City of Anderson's Redevelopment Commission meeting. First up, the commission president, Dick Sims, recently told a citizen that the commission as a whole didn't like her getting up and having her phone in people's faces. He told her that she had to sit in her seat and if she was going to be in the meeting. I take issue with this first because he didn't approach the situation in a way that may have been more effective at getting what he wanted, meaning he was not polite about this request. He came off like a dick. However, the bigger issue is that the meeting often includes presentations where citizens display boards, or people display boards and items for viewing. And to be clear, if I ever attended the ARC meeting and I want to get up and move to where I can hear, see, or take pictures or videos, I will do precisely that. And I have told the citizen whom Sims was addressing rudely to do the same. The Indiana Public Access Counselor's Office has been very clear. Hold on, let me get to clean my glasses off here. The Indiana Public Access Counselor's Office has been very clear on citizens and or the press having the right to take pictures, audio, and or video record, and common sense will tell you that everyone in the meeting is sitting in a public building during a public meeting. Most of them are appointed public officials. They have no expectation of privacy in that room. If they do not want to be in pictures, audio recordings, or video recordings, they need to be shown the door. At all that aside, me being a 44-year-old white constitutional conservative, I am the very last person that makes anything and everything about race. But I find it preposterous that Dick Sims, as an older, rude white man, doesn't understand the perception of him barking orders at a little older black woman, telling her when or how she can get up, telling her she needs to sit in that seat. What comes next month? Get to the back of the room? Get to the back of the bus? Does he want different drinking fountains in City Hall? Look, I'm sure Dick isn't a racist. I'm sure that this is just a case of him being rude with everyone that he believes is below him. That said, it's just not a good look. If you are interested in watching the shorter clips of Mr. Sims showing his ass about sitting in the seat and people not liking to be recorded, which for the record, you can go back and watch every recording the citizen has. She has never pushed it in someone's face. But to see this ordeal play out in real time, I would direct you to the following two clips. And then I sent the two Facebook clips that I played for all of you. I then went on and said, oh, and while we're on this clip, the second clip, the other gentleman in the clip with his head in his hands, acting like he is completely put out, I'm not sure who he is or what his deal is, but from his body language, I'll go ahead and call it. He is probably an ass too. These people need to take a couple of deep breaths. They just aren't as important as they think they are. Okay, next up. The following issue prompted me to review the few of these meetings and realize there was an underlying issue here. So at the ARC meeting that took place on Tuesday, July 8th, 2025, the meeting was going smoothly, I guess. And then it was time for the citizens in attendance to ask questions or make comments if they had any. And this citizen started to speak, but she was told she needed to give her address if she wanted to address the ARC board. And before we go any further, I want to make it clear to Mr. Sims and the rest of you here that this and others, make it clear to you that the rest of you here, that his and others speaking up in the meeting, including the attorney, and he and I have already discussed this, telling the citizens that she needed to provide her name and address in order to address the board are 100% incorrect. The Indiana Public Access Counselor, as well as the Indiana General Assembly and beyond, have been very clear. Citizens do not need to give name and or address to give comment or ask questions at the following: town hall, city, county council meetings, county commissioners meetings, as well as other offshoot meetings like Board of Works, Redevelopment Commission meetings, and addressing the Indiana General Assembly, among many others. The only places where citizens must provide some form of identification before addressing the board would be a township trustee board, when applying for assistance. And that, of course, makes sense because they need to ensure the person receiving help lives in the township. At one point, another commissioner speaks up and says something like, I need to know who I am speaking to and where they live. That is false. To clarify, if someone wanted to drive from California to address the ARC board, the city council, the county commissioners, or any other relevant entity, that American citizen could not be stopped from addressing those elected and or appointed officials simply because of where they were from, California. So making someone provide an address, first and foremost, is not law. And the fact that Dick went back and forth between calling it a law and a rule is laughable. The fact that they continue to try to bully her is wildly wrong, and it's close to dancing around First Amendment issues. When I heard this, I attempted to go directly to the source of the problem to address it. I reached out to Mr. Sims, then the attorney, Mr. Austin, and so that is where the second issue ties into the third problem. Honestly, it almost might be worse. I called Mr. Sims on Thursday, July 10th, 2025 at approximately 8:30 a.m. to speak with him. At first, he was concerned about who I was. He then tried to lie to me, which was rude. And when I tried to explain the situation to him, he said, "Oh, for God's sake," and shortly thereafter hung up on me. Now, these are two different problems. First, we need to get this meeting thing sorted out. Every governing body in Anderson needs to be made aware that they can politely ask a person for their name, or I guess they can politely ask for their address, but those people do not need to provide either, and they cannot be stopped from speaking because of it. You really must watch how rude they were over shit that they were completely wrong about. To watch this, click the following link. I then provided the link. However, the third issue is how Dick Sims behaved when I tried to speak to him. I was polite, I wasn't rude, or raised my voice, and he was way out of line. So you can fully understand how everything unfolded. I have provided you with a recording of my call with Dick. I've included below a short recording of the 1.5-minute call with him. I also provided you with a written transcript of the call. I do not think that this is how you would want your appointed officials acting. I also called City Attorney Mike Austin and the mayor's office. The attorney was aloof yet professional and pleasant. The executive assistant was excellent. I recorded both of those calls with Austin and Griswold, but I did not include them in the email. I'm a political commentator, and I told him all that crap. I called your office yesterday, as I mentioned, but I did not receive a call back. My audience will hear of this and want to know how this is resolved. Yada, yada, yada. So then I sent that out this morning, and I am still waiting on a call or email back. He may or may not call. Who knows? I don't know. What I probably could see happening would be I could see them having the assistant call me back, which if that happens, that would be great. I wouldn't mind speaking to her again, but I will demand to speak to the mayor. I will continue calling and or emailing daily until I talk to the mayor. And I am going to be going to the next ARC meeting with Rebecca. And while there, I'm going to get up and walk around and record. And I'm going to take some great pictures of everybody on the board. And I probably will try to ask a question or two, not giving my address. I have been advised that Sims will do whatever to have me arrested. And I say, certainly they can't be that stupid. But as always, anytime I go to hostile meetings, I always take bail money. So that's never an issue. Well, have card, don't leave home without it. Yeah, I will definitely have bail money. But the point of the issue is, I need to see. The ARC meeting normally happens an hour before the Madison County Council meeting, so I need to attend both of those next month anyways. So I am going to do my best, my level best, to attend both of those meetings. Tentatively, currently, they are both set for the 12th of August. The 12th of August. Puppy Branch, what? What are you saying? Do you want to bet? What's she saying? Oh, that they're not that. I said they're not that stupid, and Puppy Branch says, "Do you want to bet?" Yeah. Listen. So an arrest of this kind, I do believe, would allow me to join in on a fight with the state legislature for, as Kate has said here, HB 1338. I do think that would allow me to fight that legislation. That'll be amazing. Catherine says, "Come join me at the county council meeting where I have to stay in my seat and only speak with sweetness." Here's what I think could be cool. It's like, go to the ARC meeting, get arrested, bail out, go to the Madison County meeting and get arrested and bail out. What do you think? If so, here's what I would say. In the past, I used to take money. Now I just take my credit card. But when I would take cash, I'd always take $250 because what they're going to arrest you for is disorderly conduct. So I think that that's pretty safe. I would say between $250 and $300. But if you go, we'll see, we'll work on trying to get you out if you go with me. But that's the thing. So I just think it's really strange when I called Mr. Austin that he didn't have that very kind of authoritative. Look, he didn't have a very authoritative voice with Rebecca. I just don't think he has really a man's voice. That's just that's just what, I don't know how else to say it. I do know some other ways to say it, but I won't. But when I called him, he just didn't seem the same. He just he was very like wishy-washy, very fishy floppy, kind of that weirdness. So I like that I got him on recording. Charlie Brownish. I again was going to say something a little bit different, but yeah, we can leave it at that. But I just I don't know. I just have very little respect for these men. I don't think, Catherine, that Tim Lannon and Austin are partners. Yes, Kate, that absolutely works. Pussified, yes. Tim Lannon, I believe, is in on his own. And Terry, Austin's husband, I guess that's what I'm going to start calling him. I'm not going to call him Mike Austin. I guess I'm just going to call him Terry Austin's husband. So Mike Austin is an attorney with I don't know what the first name is, but it's Lacey and Hardcare, something like that. Like Pride Partners. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Well, I don't know what that first name is there. Hoolis? It's like Pulse with an H. Pulse, Lacey and Hardcare, Hardaker, Austin. I don't know. Sound like a bunch of idiots to me. I don't know. So very, very strange. I don't know that Tim Lannon is still the city attorney. I don't think that's true. I don't think Lannon is the city attorney anymore. I think that this guy is now the city attorney. I think that no, that's the issue. No. He's the council attorney. No. I know. Well, so wait, back up. Lannon is the council attorney. Because the council has an attorney and the administration has an attorney. And generally what happens is the council attorney will be one attorney and the administration has several. Graham is also the attorney for the county. For the commissioners and I guess the clerk's office and maybe the election board too. And then the council got a very Graham looking attorney too. So I don't know. But the bottom line is this. I was thinking about this, and this is just so indicative. I mean, like this could have been any other citizen. It could have been any other. It could have been any other city or county. You know, it didn't. You know, it could have been. It could have literally. I mean, it could have been anybody. It could have been anything. It could have been anywhere. It could have been Muncie. It could have been Anderson. It could, you know, whatever. We're on the city council. Where on the Anderson city page am I looking, Catherine? I'm on the city page. Now what? Tim is not the council attorney. Rebecca, who's the council attorney? Is that Graham? Is Graham the... Let's see what Kate sent me here. Okay. So... Paul... some... like Pollock name or something here. I think I can't say that anymore. Maybe that was... racist or something. Tim Lannon, assistant city attorney. Yeah, I don't know who these people are. They're all idiots. It doesn't really matter to me. No, nothing specifically on Muncie tonight. So there was a kind of funny that we're talking about redevelopment commission meeting. There was the redevelopment commission meeting for the city of Muncie hasn't happened yet. It happens at the end of the month. But the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission meeting took place on Thursday, and it was a very quick meeting. It was like normally they're like an hour or a couple of hours, but it was like 30 minutes, 35 minutes. But the weirdest part was they took a break during the meeting for like a discussion that like wasn't Yeah, Catherine is like in some kind of race. I think she's like, yes, there we get a prize if we're the most corrupt. I guess that's yay. When you have the feds come and set up shop in your city for 11 years, you'll have those bragging rights. Until then, you're still just a pup. Catherine, see, Catherine's getting big for britches. She's still just a pup in all this. She's only been doing this. How long have you been doing this now? 2 years, 3 years, 4 years total? You're like the Sproles of. Those are fighting words. You're the Sheriff Sproles of the political corruption world. 5 years. 5 years. You're still an FNG. An FNG, I tell you. No, so I was going to have you. I was not even close, man. I've been doing this for 30 years, Catherine. That's not all fairness. I haven't been speaking in front of meetings. Like, I didn't start doing that when I was 10. I probably started speaking at meetings when I was 18 or 19. 18 or 19. Catherine, you should have been on tonight talking about this. This is your backyard. I don't know why you weren't here. We should have had you on talking about Ikes and Sims and Broderick and all these people. But no, I saw this and it was very gross. But it's very similar to what goes on in Muncie. It's very similar to what goes on in Winchester. I'll tell you, I'll be honestly, that's true. I have been gavelled by the biggest gavel. Do we even have video of that anymore? I don't think we do. I'll have to look back and see. If we do. I don't think we even have. That would I've stepped back due to eye surgery. We'll step back in. Hey, no, this is a real serious question. And I was thinking about this when I laid back. You know who we haven't seen in months? Karen O. And I don't know if anybody out there knows that person, but I'm actually starting to get worried. Like, I think something happened to that person. And I was thinking about that last night. It like kind of worried me. I don't know if anyone knows Karen O. I mean, she's not somebody that's around here. No one knows, Catherine. She's just somebody that was always here. I wouldn't go that far, Cindy. She was very nice. I'll say that. I like Karen, but we don't have a name or anything. No, listen, Catherine, it's not like that. What I'm worried about is something's happened. Maybe like a family thing, or I'm worried. I don't know. That's weird because, a lot of times you don't recognize people. Sometimes people pop in and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen you on here for a long time. But she only missed Tuesdays. She only missed Tuesdays because she had class on Tuesdays. And then she would watch it the next day. O was Stumblefoot's biggest fan, and since O's not around anymore, he's now got a new biggest fan who's literally like trying to kill him and stalk him. It's a crazy situation. Whatever they got going on there. They're fighting with this realty lady who's crazy. She's calling them in the middle of the night. They called and they got her fired. They got some crazy stuff going on there. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud. I don't know if I should have said that. Should I not have said that out loud? Oh, okay. Good. I got to thinking, I missed seeing Karen-O's comments. I had to watch replays several months, so I wondered if she's doing. I hope. I don't know. That's interesting. Because she was someone that would even like comment when she watched replays, yeah, like very strange. That's very true, Stumblefoot, Michael, and everybody. Yeah. I give my real name. I'm brave or stupid. No, I'm okay with that. That's good. Yeah, I like that. Anyone giving their real name. That very well could be true. That very well could be true. Yeah. That's very true. We can finally announce it. I didn't want to announce it till they got back, but Brando has been in Japan. Good night, Alva. I sent Brandon on a mission over to Japan to prove once and for all that Catherine did not come from there. And amazingly, he was not able to find any trace of Catherine's heritage there. And they were flying home, and they stopped over in Korea for just a short period of time. And amazingly, he found out that Catherine is really from Korea. So, weird. Very weird. Yeah, he went to Tokyo. He had to go there and do some drifts. He went to drifting. Sorry about your puppy. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. I should have even said something about that. I hate that. That's horrible. I forgot all about it. I was talking to my grandparents about that. I'm very sorry for the loss of your puppy. I saw that. That's such a horrible deal. It's such a gut punch. That's very, very, very bad. So I'm definitely sorry about that. And I'm sorry for Puppy Branch's eyes, whatever's going on there. The eyes have it. My grandpa used to have to go once a month and get a shot in the eyeball. You couldn't hold me down and make that happen. It would take 15 men to hold me down. Alva had to put his dog down today, unfortunately. So that's what are we talking about? Queer Con, Conqueror. Conqueror Con. I was like, what? Queer Con? Shere Con. That's what I'm talking about. I'd love to watch that. I might watch that. I don't know what you have going on with your eyes there, Puppy Branch. We have devolved into just nothingness. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. I wasn't going to make this go this long, but that sucks. Anderson sucks. Public officials suck. Government sucks. Politics sucks. Next week, we got some big things going on next week. So, there's some big things going on. Shaka Khan. Yes. Hey, very good, Rebecca. I'm glad you're still here. You made it through to the end. God bless you and everything you do. Fantastic. I absolutely love watching you do it. Even back before I ever talked about Anderson or Madison County, while I was carrying on in all these other locations, I still always watched what you did, and I loved it. And I always like that you're mouthy and you fight back. And it's not, you're not just there to be mouthy. You're there to learn and to have other people learn. But you hold your ground, and I respect that and love everything you do. So keep up the good work. Next month, Rebecca, whenever you find out when that meeting is, let me know immediately. I no matter what is going on, I'm going to do my very level best to come there with you on that meeting and go in there. So keep me posted. As soon as you hear when it is, let me know. The very soonest that you hear. Okay, well, we are going to be off tomorrow. Tomorrow is a Saturday. No show on Saturday, obviously. We're normally not here on Fridays, but we had to make up the show from yesterday. Let me look here real quick just to make sure where we're landing. Give me 1 second here. So today is Friday. 87, 8, 9, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97. So it seems as if I was trying to make it to where my 500th show would happen on my birthday, but it doesn't seem like we're going to be able to make that happen. It seems like right now, if we keep the schedule we've got now, it seems like the 500th show is going to fall on the 30th, Wednesday the 30th. What we'll need to do is I'll probably cancel a show that week and make the 500th show fall on that Thursday night, the last night of the week, so we can go out like on a bang. 500 shows, man. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, God bless each and every one of you. Have a great evening. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We will see you back here Sunday. Don't forget to keep your ass in that seat, Rebecca. Get that camera out of my face, and good night.